Welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us for this screencast. My name's Anne Elias, and we're going to talk a little bit today about the Daily Create, which is part of DS106, which is the daily or Digital Storytelling 106. And you'll learn a little bit about how this class originated in a few minutes, but right now I'd like to introduce my guest, who has graciously agreed to join me for this. Her name is Beth Strickland, and I'll let you introduce yourself.
That's right. Hey, Anne, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
My name is Beth Strickland, and I'm originally from Colorado. I worked for many years as a librarian in the beautiful state of Michigan at the University of Michigan. I'm currently a PhD candidate at the School of Information at the University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign. I also teach some classes there for intro graduate students into the library program. And I love to hear what Anne has been up to in her program. It has been, we've both been learning as she's traveling along. So I'm looking forward to hearing what she has to talk about today.
Well, if I were writing a dissertation, you would get a big thank you in the front of it. So,
excellent.
So I guess we'll kind of jump right in here and do a little talking about the DS106. I'm going to minimize both of us, but you should be able to hear. All right, so DS106, what is it? DS106 was a digital storytelling class that originated at University of Mary Washington and has continued on as an open participation learning tool for media. This is actually a program that we use in our class, and we are using it through the Daily Create, which is an online space that provides regular practice for spontaneous creativity through challenges published every day. And we'll take a little look at the website, but this is just like a little bit of a background on the different pieces to this, this tool. So originally, at its heart, DS106 is a storytelling tool. You know, it kind of flips traditional storytelling on its head. And instead of text or word of mouth and passing down stories through oral history, we're using a lot of media to tell stories in this program. And so how does it work? So participants in the daily challenge would start first by having a Twitter account and making sure their Twitter account is not set to protected status. So you want to be on the open web. You want to be open to this. You are definitely posting publicly when you use DS106's Daily Create. So just be prepared for that. Participants will follow DS106, which is at DS106DC on Twitter. And then from there, the people who run that Twitter account will post a different challenge every day. Some people choose to participate on a daily basis, and some of us, like in our class for INTE 5340, will participate on, you know, like once or twice a week. We're actually only required to participate once, but usually you can find 2 or 3 to do that are really engaging and fun. So on the day-to-day, this would be a good example of what a Daily Create looks like. So this Daily Create, if a participant were to check their Twitter account and see what DS106 is posting, this one is post a ridiculous latte. So here we have a latte that appears to be inside an avocado. The point is, you're not necessarily making something that looks rational. You're making something that's creative and funny sometimes. Actually, a lot of the time, they're very funny. And then you would put it together using tools that you would use for various media projects and post it to the first reply. So you're actually replying to the original post. Oh, okay. So at the end of the day, you would have maybe 6 to 10 people who have posted a reply, so you can see everybody's daily create for that one prompt.
Okay.
One moment, please. Prezzy's taking me on a journey. All right. So here's the end result. We have some really great creative outlets here, and they all kind of tell little mini stories, and that's really the point, is that there's no right or wrong answer. The creators use the tools that they like, or they challenge themselves to try new tools. And they just do crazy things. Some people do still images, some people do video, some do GIFs, and some do audio, or just write something as a regular Twitter post. So we have like somebody's thinking of a latte. Quite literally, they have a latte on the brain. Somebody else is falling into a supernova latte, and somebody else is really craving a latte, and it's latte o'clock. So, so these are just kind of like, the point is to do it on the fly. Don't think about it too much. Just have some fun with it. So in the end, the Daily Create from DS106 encourages creativity and commentary and connected learning. It's fun and it's short, and it is a form of storytelling. And there's a lot of back and forth. You'll get to know people from, I would say I've met people from different schools and also around the globe who participate in this. And so that's really fun.
Nice.
Yeah. And jumping off here are just a few of the tools I use when I'm creating. These are really simple tools. They're free, open source, and basically anybody with a PC or a laptop could use them. So we have Creative Commons search, which is important. You're going to find images or video that's in public domain, and you can use it with attribution for your projects. You can host your projects on SoundCloud if you're doing a podcast. You might use free music from the Free Music Archive. And an example of a video production tool would be Stoopflix, that makes very simple slide videos.
Never heard of that one. That's interesting.
Yes. Yeah, Stoopflix it's free. It's very easy to use. You pretty much just upload images and then it scrolls through and you can add text and music.
Nice.
Yeah. So we'll take a look at the live feed. I don't know if you have any questions before we do that.
So it looked like this tool came out of a university. Is that what I saw on one of the slides? Like it was developed for like an educational specific reason? Right.
So the Daily Create is part of Digital Storytelling 106, which was the name of the class at University of Mary Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
So I have a deeper question to ask you when you're ready.
Okay. Want to try now?
Let's go ahead and talk about it now. Like I'm just curious. Like I come very much not from a storytelling background. This is not my world. I don't really do much in the creativity land. So I'm just kind of curious, in your own personal opinion, what's the sort of pedagogical value you think of sort of using like either storytelling as a medium, or like what does this technology maybe add to using storytelling?
Ooh, I think that's a great question. Well, first of all, I definitely would have identified with the I'm not a storyteller sort of angle before I started this class.
Okay.
And I think it's kind of flipped everything I thought about storytelling on its head.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah, and mostly because we don't really use text. We're using so much media, and it's a very freeing way of telling stories. And it's, yes, we have assignments, but it's almost as if there are no right or wrong answers. Yeah. I think the idea is to choose a story and find your voice and give it your very best shot. You know, I think people come to this at all levels, certainly all production levels. There are definitely some people who don't use Photoshop. I really don't use Photoshop at all. You just kind of, you might do something just right on your phone. I mean, there are so many great little programs or
Yeah.
apps you can find. So I think it's just to give storytelling a try and to challenge what your idea of storytelling is.
That's
So,
nice. Yeah, so it
yeah,
has the flexibility sort of
yeah,
built into it. And yeah, nice.
for
That
sure.
helps with the learning. It
With
does.
the learning. And
Yeah.
it's an open form of learning as well, because basically the syllabus for DS106 is open and out there for any instructor to use. So you could kind of adapt it to something that you like, or do it as is. So yeah, it's
Nice. Yeah.
totally different.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're looking at the live feed.
We're looking at the Twitter feed,
Okay.
and so today's was a really interesting one. We had kind of, you're going to manipulate the magazine, the Time magazine cover, to kind of make it your own.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So if we scroll down here, oops, here's one I did. Right. I think I was the last person to post
nice.
anything, but this kind of ties into other projects that I'm doing for the week. And so my Time magazine was, "What's your library life story?"
Oh, that's awesome. Because you know everyone has one on some level, or like a lot of people do. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think so too. And I'm hoping I'll get some responses.
Nice.
And then other people just kind of did their own little, here's Avatar of the Year, no else fails. Somebody went like wicked serious and did Amy
Wow,
Goodman.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually really professional.
And then somebody did their dog. So
that's adorable.
It's just fun. And I kind of am going to tie it into other blog posts that I'm doing. So it's kind of a nice jumping off point.
Cool. Yeah.
So basically, yeah, this post has 9 replies, as you can see, and a couple people have liked it. And if we scroll down for the week, there are other projects that people have worked on as the prompts go. Like what is your DS106 Odyssey? And people manipulated this famous picture. They remixed it to show something totally different.
Nice.
And now if we were to look at the Daily Create website, which is a spin-off here, it actually shows the post of the day. If you didn't want to go on Twitter.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You can just go to the actual website. It gives you all the directions. And if you really don't want to get on Twitter, there are options for posting without posting to Twitter. So you
That's interesting that they give that sort of option too.
Huh. Yeah, well, I think privacy is definitely a concern. I've had some weirdness on Twitter, but for the most part, it's very fun and open, and people are very kind, and I think it's a good way to learn and grow. So
nice, yeah.
So let's jump back in here. And we'll kind of work our way through.
Yeah. We're capturing the journey, revisiting what we've learned so far.
Yeah, I think that's it. We've kind of come to the end here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, does that kind of give you a better overview of what the tool might be?
Yeah. What's really standing out to me too is just the flexibility to it. Because I think like it can be a really scary thing, I think, if you're not a creative type, to be hearing any of this. But I don't know. I feel like if it has different sort of platforms you're using for it, and it's really, I just, you know, as an educator, I love the idea of it just being like no right or wrong answer. That's always comforting. Like as soon as you hear that, it's just like, okay, I'm going to learn something because I don't, you know, I'm not necessarily getting judged. So I don't know. It seems like a fun tool.
It is fun, and I think that's a really good observation. It takes a lot of the pressure off. This is not a class where you're going to be using APA format necessarily. Although we do always cite our sources. If you're taking media and remixing it, somewhere in your project you have to put down where you're getting that media from, and so we find creative ways to do that. But we're not writing papers. It's just a really fun way to tell stories in mini format, and then hopefully take those stories and expand upon them later.
Nice. Yeah. Cool.
So that's about it. Thanks so much for joining me.
Totally. And thank you for showing me this new world.
Well, sure. I hope maybe I'll get you on Twitter someday. and you can give it a try.
We'll see. We'll see. It's a
All right.
combo. It's a combo we keep having. It's a
I know. All right. Well, thanks again, and I will talk to you soon.
All right. Sounds good.
All right.